And now to kickstart our day, I would like to invite our chairman, Mr. Jinesh Shah, who's the founder and managing partner of Omnivore. Omnivore has been one of the largest agri-focused funds in India and has been investing in the agri-based enterprises since 2011. So welcome on board, Jinesh, and over to you.
Hey, thanks, Anjana, for your kind words of introduction. Dear friends, welcome to the India Climate Investment Conclave. My name is Jinesh Shah, and I chair the India Impact Investors Council, also known as IIC. And I'm currently also a founder and the managing partner at Omnivore. This is the very first edition of the India Climate Investment Conclave. And as IIC, we will endeavor to embrace more thematic themes, areas like climate, gender, blended finance, and other areas to catalyze incremental flows of capital for the sector and enhance the overall impact investing agenda for the country. If the members has any suggestions for any areas which IIC should work, we would welcome the same. You can either reach out to me or any member of the secretariat. As you all are aware that IIC is India's permanent not-for-profit body focusing on building impact investing ecosystem in India. IIC is supported by more than 45 impact asset managers and investors and other ecosystem builders. In the last 5 years, IIC has added many firsts to its name. We have built up an event property called Prabhav, which started with an humble beginning in 2016. But after three successful editions in 2016, 18, and 20, it has been now elevated to the IIC's Impact India Investing Week, where all the impact investing stakeholders really come together. In the latest edition of 2020, we had hosted nearly 750 people from 25 countries. We had conducted around 150 odd LPGP meetings. Our speakers represented all pillars of the impact ecosystem. There were 100 odd asset owners, there were 250 asset managers, there were 40 government bodies, 100 odd entrepreneurs and NGOs, and 200 plus kind of market stakeholders and builders. IIC has also established itself as a thought leader in the impact investing industry and has published 5 research reports from 2020 onwards. Through our publications and analytics about the sector, we are building up a cogent and a cohesive narrative around impact investing and helping raise the awareness across the sector with different stakeholders. As all of us are aware that the times have been very challenging and have been changing very rapidly, and the impact investing ecosystem has been evolving and has become increasingly diversified across multiple sectors, where it took close to a decade for the industry to invest and to reach the investment size of nearly $10 odd billion till 2019. The year 2020 was a memorable year for us in many ways. Despite the pandemic conditions, 2020 witnessed investments of nearly $2.5 billion, and more than 70% of this investment were in the sectors other than financial services like healthcare, education, agriculture, energy, and tech for development. The industry maturity, as measured through the return of the capital through exits, has also progressed rapidly, with nearly 200 two dozen exits in the last 2 years. Despite the stupendous performance, industry needs a regular and increased doses of capital to fuel the growth of the sector. Most importantly, however, as everyone is aware, the world has been grappling with the COVID-19 crisis, which has wide socio-economic implications, particularly in the low and middle income countries like India. The pandemic has not only brought the issue of economic conditions to the forefront, but also has made us to think more seriously about climate change. Climate change is a grave and immediate problem and is a reality which we cannot ignore or wish away. Climate touches every part of the economy, and the vulnerable sections of the society will be worst hit by climate change. As we build back the economy after the pandemic shock, We need to build a greener and a more sustainable India. There is a strong need for a coordinated climate action. That effectively means that there needs to be deep and sustained carbon emission reduction in every aspect of our lives, all across the globe. All companies, countries, and investors have announced their intent to become net zero emitters. But how does one get there? From transitioning to a net zero, there would be a need to a radical change in the way the people conduct their lives. People need to shift to low carbon products. Industries need to shift from towards more efficient processes. Agriculture needs to be less water intensive and so on. All this is not possible without new technologies. Climate tech startups work towards bringing to us these very products and technologies. In the Indian context, the talk around the climate finance often centers around utility scale renewable power projects like while early stage innovation focused startups don't get the same attention and this segment continues to remain a niche segment. For the solutions to really make a serious impact, this sector really needs to become into mainstream. In this new era of cooperation and public-private partnership, impact investing holds even greater potential for driving economic growth through entrepreneurship and innovation. Despite this promise, the impact investment sector in India will need to substantially enhance its investor outreach and build capacity to raise and deploy much larger amount of capital to fuel the growth of the sector. This is the time for the impact investors to come together and find solutions for India's developmental goals. And for doing this, we need to enhance the scope of impact investing across all dimensions. Thematic areas like climate are very critical for countries like India with very vast populations. This report and the event are a step towards mainstreaming of this sector. While the report puts together the landscape for climate tech investment and build a narrative around early stage climate deals, this event is an effort towards bringing all the key stakeholders together. The content we have curated at the event really aims to focus on this on a few core areas. We will aim to showcase the achievements of the Indian early stage climate tech investments. We will also aim to do this through a curated focus deep dives, sector deep dives, discussions with the entrepreneurs charting success stories, and also sharing data on climate tech investments across the landscape in India. We will focus on ways in which the early stage climate tech ecosystem in India can further build up the capacity. We will do this through discussions with practitioners, accelerators, donors, investors, debt providers, and other stakeholders of the ecosystem. The masterclass will also sharpen the understanding about the sector and also increase the investor awareness. Finally, we will try to deepen the connect between the Indian and the global tech investment communities by bringing an international perspective on the future of the space. In summary, the whole intent of this event is to create a platform for holistic discussions and debate around the early stage climate tech investments across India. Over the next 2 days, you can expect to listen to keynotes by industry leaders, participate in the sector specific roundtables, getting perspectives from different stakeholders, and learn from the experience of seasoned entrepreneurs. I'm sure this will be an exciting set of sessions for all of you. In summary, we at IIC and I personally am very excited about the way the impact investing ecosystem is shaping up in India. Over the next decade, we believe that the impact investing will continue to embrace more and more thematic areas like gender inequality, climate, and will also increase its exposure to wider range of instruments like blended products. Finally, we believe the impact investing will become even more mainstream, and sectors like climate will provide opportunities to investors for co-investing alongside with mainstream investors. On this high note, I once again welcome and thank you all of you for joining us as we kick off India Climate Investment Conclave. May it be the harbinger for bring many more. Back to you, Ranjana.
Thanks, Jinesh, for the kind words. Couldn't agree more. As we build back the economy after the shocks of the pandemic, we need to parallelly think ways to build a greener India. Through some of these newer agendas, we are trying to build on some of the new elements into our ecosystem. And thanks a lot for all the help, support, and guidance.